Living 24/7. It is now January 24th and I am on day 23 of the Raw Food Romance 30-Day Meal Plan by Melissa Raimondi. And for breakfast I'm having the ginger apple carrot banana pudding. I haven't even taste tested it yet. It's nice. Alright, so I thought I would do a little explanation of how I'm doing because everybody's been asking. So basically, for the first couple days I had to get used to trying to have my food out on the counter instead of like always pulling it out of the fridge like I'm used to, because when you do that, like, you feel a little bit cold. And so for those of you that don't know, I live up in the north in Edmonton in Canada, and hopefully you can see me alright in that it doesn't become blurry. I had to switch cameras already. So basically, yeah, it can be quite cold up here, like up to like minus 30 degrees Celsius. And basically the only ones that I'm feeling cold eating now, since I've been putting things out onto the counter, is when I make the ice cream. So I'm making ice cream out of bananas. Because, yeah, eating that in the winter, it's tasty, like you want to do it, but like it's cold. So, I guess just talking about the pros and cons about all this is, about day 5, I was getting a bit of a like upset stomach, and for a nicer way of putting it, I guess, not so solid poops. Yeah, so I think that day I had eaten a lot of liquids. Like, I don't think the meal plan called for liquids for breakfast, lunch, and supper. But what I did was I had a smoothie for breakfast, and then for lunch I was finishing off a leftover soup, and then for supper I had the chili. And so the chili is delicious. I've had it before when she's made it too, and I think that she makes it better, but she's probably had more practice with it. I think that the beans that I was sprouting, that I didn't have them fully sprouted, so some of them had like the long tails like they were supposed to, and then some of them didn't, and I still ate it, so I don't know if that's bad to do that, so perhaps that's another reason why my stomach wasn't doing so well. Also, ever since I went to Thailand and had a really spicy soup, I had a spicy soup and then I added way too much red chili, like pepper flakes, to it, and still forced myself to eat most of it. And so ever since then, spices also don't do so well for me. So I think that in combination with all of that, that was the reason why my stomach wasn't doing so well, and also probably just from going raw, like your body has to detox a little bit, I think. So yeah, for day 5, I wasn't feeling so great, and then it kind of carried over a little bit into day 6 as well. But since then, I've been doing really well. Like, basically, if I eat not enough food, not enough calories, then I'll have really bad headaches, but I'm able to resolve that by, of course, taking an Advil, but also just from, like, eating more food. I'm not too sure, like, I'm not exactly following the meal plan perfectly, so I'm not too sure how many calories I'm actually getting, like if I'm actually even getting enough, because sometimes I'm actually eating less than what she's asking for in the meal plan. I'm finding that I can't always eat that much, but basically anytime that I'm hungry, I'm still eating something, like I'll snack on some fruit. So when I'm eating my really big bowls of salad or whatever the meal is, I try to like eat a little bit past when I feel full. Not so that I feel super stuffed, but just so that I just feel like eating raw, like the food goes through you a little bit quicker, so it's important to like eat a little bit more. I understand that a lot of people, when they eat raw, they make sure to cram it all in and everything like that. I don't really believe in that, but yeah, so I'm just trying to like eat a little bit past when I'm full and try to finish the bowl, and if not, I set it aside and try to eat it later on that evening or the next day. I definitely feel like I have more energy eating raw. I noticed that like pretty much right away. Like, I was doing training when I first started, and people were getting tired and sluggish near the end of the training, and I was just all like, I'm ready to keep going. So I don't know if that's just me personally, if I'm just like that. I find that even when I'm tired, like if I don't sleep enough, that I actually do really well, like when I wake up early and I just go to work or whatever on little sleep, whether I've been eating raw or not. I just feel like that's how I've always been. But yeah, but the training was in the evenings anyways, so that's a little different. So I'm finding it difficult to, like I've said this before, but I find it difficult to make a new meal every single day for 30 days. And I feel like she's done that just mostly so that there's variety in it, like, so then that way there's 90 recipes. So I think that's really great. But for me personally, I mean, maybe some of you can do it, but for me personally, I cannot do that. That's just too much work. So sometimes I'll just make a random salad, and I don't even make a dressing because I'm like running behind or whatever, and I'll just eat that for lunch, like when I'm packing my lunch. And yeah, that also means that I'm not grocery shopping every single day. So, or like, I'm not always keeping up with like what needs to be bought to make future recipes and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm kind of falling behind on the whole entire thing, but I'm just making sure to keep eating raw, and I'm using it more as a guideline for myself right now. And basically a lot of her recipes call for a lot of the same main ingredients and spices and that sort of thing. And so I just make sure when I'm grocery shopping, doing a quick grocery shop, I'll grab those few items that I know that will most likely be in the recipe. It's also a small book, so I'm able to stick it in my purse. My purse is huge anyways, so even if it was a bigger book, it would fit. But yeah, so by knowing that she reuses a lot of the same kinds of ingredients, I know that I can usually make most of what it's calling for a recipe, and if not, I can switch it out with certain ingredients or add more of a certain ingredient so that I'm trying to get enough calories type thing. And also what I've been doing is just looking on there throughout the recipe book, since I have missed some recipes because I'm making those big salads that aren't part of the book. I've just been looking throughout the recipe book lately and looking for something that I already have a lot of the ingredients on hand and making those things. One thing I do want to say as kind of maybe a critique is if you're diabetic, and because I know some people that are diabetic, you can't have dates because they spike your blood sugar really quickly. A lot of her recipes do include dates, so I'm not going to tell you what's all in all her recipes or anything like that, but I think that's an important thing to note because there's been a few people that I've been recommending this book to, and then they're like, oh, but I can't have dates, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this isn't the right recipe book for you then. I mean, you can always sub it out for something else, I'm sure, but yeah, she uses them in a lot of her recipes because they are so high in calories, and so and it tastes great in her recipes as well. So yeah, I guess that's just something to look into maybe. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't even know what you would sub it out for with dates, especially for someone that's diabetic. I'm not too sure. So yeah, I think that's basically all that I have to say for this update. If there's any questions that you still have about how I'm doing or anything like that, or any questions about raw veganism, then please leave them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you on that. And I also wanted to add, actually, the only thing that I would say that I'm not doing perfectly raw is her recipes call for using lemons sometimes, and I've been using lemon juice, which has probably about 4 or 5 ingredients, and so only one of them is lemon juice. And it's just that I had a big jug of it in my fridge when I started this, and I'm like, oh, well, that's easy, instead of like going and constantly buying lemons. So yeah, that's the one thing. And then I've said before that I've been drinking tea. I haven't actually drank tea in a really long time, but I have drank some tea, and I don't know if that's considered raw, but I still think it's healthy. And so to me, I've been doing this just to be healthy and to cut back on snacking, yes, or eating unhealthy. So in the evenings, I've been having cravings still, and I find that when I eat a little bit of nuts or something like that, like I don't always do this, but if I do this, then I find that it helps curb the craving, I think. Maybe it makes me crave it a little bit more later, I don't know. So yeah, there's been a few days where I've definitely went over the 10% for fat, because she follows the 80-10-10. And there's definitely been some days, and especially yesterday, I ate almost a full avocado, so I know that they're quite high in fat, so yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I think that I covered everything, and like I said, just leave your comments below. I love hearing your comments and hearing what you think of these videos, and love hearing your questions. Thanks for watching, you guys. Veg, peace, and love. Till next time.